You're listening to the Back Home Network, presented by Home Field Apparel.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
Jared, you better yell! Show me the money! Show me the money!
Pay that man his money.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
What is up, folks? Welcome back to CrimsonCASH. We are back making money. Hoosiers are hot. We're covering spreads. James, my man, how you doing?
CrimsonCASH. CrimsonCASH being the mothership show.
Very fair. Very fair. Well, wouldn't be a show if I didn't mess it up.
Doing great. We had a good weekend last weekend. So pretty happy to be back. What's that?
Is that a Wichita State hat? Shuckers?
It is. Yeah. Shockers, baby.
Good stuff. All right. Well, for those who don't know, CrimsonCASH is part of the Back Home Network, and we are sponsored by our friends over at Home Field Apparel. Check them out. Use the promo code HOME23 for 15% off your first purchase, or go check them out at Trax on Kirkwood. All right, James, we're getting straight to it. We have some IU stuff to talk about. We have a lot of IU Illinois stuff. We're going to save that to the end, but these are going to be pretty quick now that we have bye weeks and just Big Ten playing Big Ten. Not as many games to go to, but we will start with our friends, the Northwestern Wildcats. Where's my? There we go. Our James cat noise. All right, got to get rid of the CrimsonCASH. There we go. UCLA is going out to Northwestern to play the Wildcats. Northwestern is a 6.5-point favorite. My God, at home. God, UCLA has fallen off.
They are terrible, and people seem to be fleeing the program. So give me the Wildcats to cover this. I don't think Northwestern ever thought they'd be 6.5-point favorites going into this game at the beginning of the year. But yeah, I think Northwestern for sure wins the game, and I'm pretty sure they'll cover a touchdown. They looked fairly decent for a while against Oregon, so there's something there. There's nothing there with the Bruins.
The Bruins messed up my take, which I made earlier, I think in my preseason preview, that I thought for sure Cignetti was going to beat Deshaun Foster for the rest of his career. I just didn't. He did.
He did.
One game. The career wasn't that long, but I was like, Cignetti, I think, hates guys like that who just get a Power 5 job handed to them on a silver platter. And I was like, I think he's going to personally want to beat that guy forever. And he did, and out of the league now. So
he did to Ryan Walters too. He beats people so bad they just don't even keep their jobs anymore.
Yeah, it's like what used to happen to us. All right, we have Oregon, the Ducks going out. This is a hell of a game. Happy Valley playing Penn State. Penn State is a 3.5-point favorite at home.
To me, this is the game of the week in college football. I don't know how you can look at it any other way. Penn State's a little freaking cocky for my liking here. They keep talking about how important it is to have these night whiteouts, and it's one of the greatest things in all of sports. And it's like, get over yourselves, people. It's not that amazing, right? So if you want to find 100,000 drunk people to get together in Western Pennsylvania, it's not hard to do. All right. So I am going to take the Oregon Ducks to cover more than a field goal. I actually think they win the game outright here, but go ahead and give me 3.5 points all day long.
All right. We are going to do something that I was doing on VIP posts, but I don't have time, unfortunately. Sorry, VIPs. I love you guys. We're going to do it right here.
And VIPs now.
Yes. It's kind of IPs. Here's what I was thinking with this game in particular. We can kind of go through some of these. If Oregon wins this game, if Oregon beats Penn State, do you think Indiana is ranked ahead of Penn State next week?
Depends what IU does at Iowa this weekend.
Let's assume
the answer is no.
Okay.
Unless there's maybe a scenario where Oregon wins by 5 to 7 touchdowns and just completely dominates Penn State, and they look like complete frauds, kind of like what IU just did to Illinois. If Oregon were to do that on the road at Penn State's going to drop precipitously. So I would think they would probably drop behind Indiana, unless Indiana loses to Iowa, in which case the answer would be no.
But let's the constant here in the algebraic equation is Indiana beats Iowa. If Penn State beats Oregon, do you think Indiana's ranked ahead of Oregon?
No.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think no matter what happens in this game, unless this is a complete blowout, I think both those teams will be ranked ahead of Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to have it count against you too much for losing this game either way. Because I mean, Penn State was called the third best team in the country going into the year, and by God, that's where they're going to stay.
Yeah.
So, poll talk has got me salty these days.
I'm just looking at the polls. There's not a lot of other games outside of the Georgia game. I guess Georgia's playing Alabama. That's an interesting one. I mean, like, so if Georgia loses to Alabama, does Indiana jump them in the rankings?
I have no idea. Probably not.
What's funny is if Alabama beats Georgia, it's possible Alabama jumps IU with one.
That is highly possible. Yes.
It's just trying to figure out where we're going to be ranked. But it doesn't really matter because we'll probably go 1-1 in the next two. Anyway, all right, let's go on to our next set of games. We're going to remove this and add a whole slate. We're going to leave the Indiana one for last. So we're going to go out to Washington, where Ohio State is going to be at Washington. Washington is an 8.5-point underdog at home.
Yeah, fairly big line here for a home team that's undefeated, and they've looked pretty good this year. But this is Ohio State. They had a bye week last week, I believe. So I expect them to roll in this thing. I normally don't like the cross-country travel road teams, but in this instance, I'm going to go ahead and take the Buckeyes. I think they're just that much better.
Another game that I'm fascinated for is this USC-Illinois game. Speaking of cross-country trips. By the way, USC's travel, I'm going to pull this up here for a second. Their travel is pretty nuts. They, if you consider Illinois part of Indiana, which it kind of is close to, they went at Purdue, back home for Michigan State, and then at Illinois, and then back home to Michigan, and then coming back to play Notre Dame. So that's 3 trips back and forth from basically Indiana, Illinois to the West Coast and back. That's kind of nuts. But that's what happens when you join a conference that you're really not supposed to be part of geographically.
I mean, LA to Chicago, what is that? A 3.5, 4-hour flight?
Yeah.
I mean, I think these kids can handle that. If they can handle being hit by 300-pound linemen at full go, I think they can handle a 3-hour plane ride. And they're not putting up with all the hassle shit we got to put up with at the airport, right? They're not having to wait at TSA and get patted. Look, no, these guys have a totally different travel experience than you and I will ever have. The only thing that maybe time zone stuff sometimes I can buy that, because this would be a 9:00 local time kick for Southern Cal or USC, so they don't get pissed off. But I think Illinois is going to bounce back here. I don't think they're as bad as they looked against Indiana. I think that one safety of theirs will probably miss the first half, though. I expect USC to put up a lot of points, but I expect Illinois to also put up a lot of points, and I think they'll keep it within this touchdown. I'd rather have 7.5, if I'm being honest. But
you jumped into it before I could set it up. I have a song. We couldn't even get to the champagne room.
All right. Well, if you want to get in the champagne room, you're gonna have to take the Illini on the money line there at 2-1. And so that's your champagne room money right there. Sprinkle a little on that. I think they could pull off the upset here. I think they're a team that is going to be. They were probably coached very tough this week. And
I would think so. I'm really interested in this game because it's like, one of the things is going to happen, whether Illinois is a fraud or they're not, but like they've got to get it done pretty quick because they also have a game against Ohio State coming up. Like they can't. And if you're an Indiana fan, you got to root hard for Illinois now. You want them.
You're rooting for Illinois in this game if you're an Indiana fan. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have
Paul Feinbaum's stupid throat.
Fair. We have Rutgers going to Minnesota. You asked for it. You got it, James. All right, Rutgers going to Minnesota. Minnesota rowing their boat is a 5.5-point favorite at home.
Let's take Rutgers here. I don't know what Minnesota's been up to. I think they were off last week. So Rutgers put up a fight against Iowa, and they were able to actually put up some yards and points. They put up 28 points on the Hawkeyes. I think Minnesota's defense is not as good as Iowa's, so I expect Rutgers to put up some points here. And Minnesota's offense has not wowed me this year. After the drubbing they took at Cal, I'm going to take the Scarlet Knights here, plus the points. I think they could maybe pull off the upset here on the road.
All right,
That's not a daunting environment at Minnesota.
Now, last up, the red hot Indiana Hoosiers. We're going to get to some reviews of the Illinois game and some fun betting lines from that. But let's focus on this one first. We have our red hot Hoosiers.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
Hell yeah, you do. Indiana is going to Kinnick. We're going to try and get rid of all the bad memories of the 2021 season opener. Indiana is a 7.5 point favorite on the road.
Well, last week I said we could see something like the Nebraska game last year, and we did. So I'm feeling good about myself here. And when this line came out, I took it when it first came out. So I have a better line than 7.5.
What do you have?
I have sent you a photo of it. If you'd like to show my picks for this game.
See, it's it. There we go.
It's not that one.
Nope.
There we go. So I got him at 6.5 when it first came out. And so I went ahead and put 3.5 times my normal bet on it. Now, if we'll remember last week, I put 8 times my normal bet on the Illinois line, but we were going all out on that one. Another bet I like in this IU-Iowa game is IU over 27.5. I got like a half a point on that at the -130, but I really like that bet. Rutgers put up 28 points on Iowa last week. I do think the Hoosiers win this probably by double digits. So I think you're fine up to 9.5. But what happens if the line changes between now and kickoff? Well, we had that question last week, and that's the one I wanted you to pull up from X there, Scott. So somebody asked me, hey, what do I do? The line's gone over 7. What do I do here? And so I replied that, I think you can go either way. But I personally like staying at under 6. It's just the way I like it. But then I offered up something else, the first half spread at -3.5. And so we went ahead and bet that and won. So keep an eye on X, but think about alternates. You don't have to just bet the spread bet. You can look at the first half. You can look at some of these alternate, totals and things, and just be creative. And at the end of the day, if you're comfortable with your bet and it wins, then hey, that's great, right?
Yep. No. So first off, I got to give you. Let's stay on the Iowa thing real quick. So you have Indiana. You're going over the 7.5. The hook doesn't scare you.
I'm not afraid of that. No, I think they win by 10 at least. At a minimum, I think they win by 10.
Okay. I would agree with you too. I'm not.
So in gambling terms, I'd play this up to 9.5.
Okay. I like that.
But get it at 7.5 if you can. Don't wait for it to go up.
That's fair. That's fair. Before we get into some other some things with the Illinois game, I want to get your thoughts. But at first, I got to give you a real shout out and some real credit. So I'm getting ready for the game. I get there with the fam. We're sitting down. I think we have 20 minutes to look up. It's like, oh, we got 40 minutes because God forbid, Notre Dame can't go to Peacock. We have to go to Peacock and we got to wait for them. So I have some extra time. So I'm throwing in some extra bets. And you were ringing in my head, which is a frightening thought. But I was hearing you say that, if you think Indiana's gonna win, like, let's go big. Like, they're gonna go, we're gonna go. Like, let's all go big on this. So I did like probably 4 times my normal bet. I bet Indiana to cover the spread. I bet the money line. But I also got creative as well. I think this is also the kind of bet you can play at Iowa as well. If you want to buy down those points or you just want to go Indiana money line, but you want to throw some stuff out there. So I did a bet against Illinois with anytime Surratt or Hemby touchdown with an Indiana money line, won that. And then the other thought I had too is just I kind of threw some stuff together. I did Omar Cooper Jr. with 15 plus yards, Elijah Surratt with plus 30 yards, Roman Hemby plus 40 yards, and Indiana money line. And so it basically put $25 on that 154. You double your money. And it's like, that's my feeling is if Indiana's going to win against Iowa, those numbers are not crazy. It's like Surratt getting 15 yards. Sorry, Surratt getting 30, Cooper getting 15. Like one of those two guys is going to have some. You can even throw, touchdowns are a little more funky, but one of those guys is going to get some. And honestly, Hemby getting 40 yards is almost guaranteed at this point. So that's how I would play it, is just playing some of those smaller player props tacked onto an Indiana money line for Iowa.
Well, Calic Manis threw for over 300 yards last week against Iowa. He doesn't have a golden arm. They do not have a talented receiver core. So I think that IU is going to have some opportunities to really throw the ball in this game. And that's got to have Fernando Mendoza just smiling ear to ear right now, because I think that they're going to have some success against that Iowa secondary. But I think ideally Cignetti would love to just run it down Kirk Ferentz, beat him in his own game. I think he'd love to do that, but I think it's just going to be too tempting to throw the ball. So I like wide receiver props for this game. I think the ball's going to get spread around. And I haven't seen where Mendoza's numbers are, but those could start to get inflated now that there's some Heisman talk for him. So beware of inflated numbers there.
So yes, let me pull up this. This is something that I took. It's oscillated a little bit depending on the book, but I got this right after the game. If you went to FanDuel and you looked at their Heisman Trophy winner odds, Mendoza has the best odds at plus 800, which is just nuts. I think Oklahoma's quarterback has taken that over since. If you go to like some other books, it's a little different. But yeah, Mendoza plus 800. We're in week 5. We have the leading candidate for Heisman Trophy. Just like that alone is insane.
That got my dogs really excited.
And I'm going to show the bet that I have, which I know that you also have as well. Right here, man. I put $10 on Mendoza. I also put money on Penix to win the Heisman. I think the odds were the same, but I have $10 on Mendoza at 5,000 to 1. My payout is $510. I love that FanDuel is like, hey, we'll cash you out at $45. And I'm like, double bird, man, not cashing out. I'm riding this train to 510.
Yeah, they've offered me a cash out on my $5 bet that I had. I wasn't quite as ballsy as you there on the whole 10 spot. Wow.
I know, big time. Here's the question is because Mendoza, you're going to have to either win at Oregon or win at Penn State to win the Heisman. And your numbers, I'll go back to the list right now. Oregon, Miami, Oklahoma, Georgia are the other names of schools that are up there. Those are all name brand schools. This is a media award. It's a narrative award. Mendoza could have the best season. He needs to have not just the best stats. He needs to have better than the best stats and probably a win on the road against Penn State or Oregon. At what point do I cash out that bet? Or for anybody else who has a Mendoza long bet, what's your take? Do you just ride it out, or do you cash it out if we get to over $150?
Mine was a free bet. So anything you'll lose a bet and they'll give you one of those free bets back. Mine was a $5 free bet. So I'm just going to let mine ride. But if you make 10 to 1 off a bet that you still don't even have to it doesn't have to cash, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
If you get up to 100, that'd be tough for me to say no on the cash out. But if you get up to 100 and you still think that's low because now he's minus 300 to win or something like that, I think it would depend on, what the state of play is at that point. But if he's doing that well and they're offering that much more on, that little of a bet, I would say that's probably because they know they're going to lose. The narrative has changed at that point. So, who knows? But Mendoza's got a great story. What he needs is some more of those, Big Ten, those puff pieces that ESPN always runs, and he needs one of those type deals and getting some PR out there. But really what he needs to do is keep throwing touchdowns and not throwing interceptions or incompletions. He missed 2 passes last week. And he talked about him in his post-game press conference, which was the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. So,
yeah, again, I think he's got to have big games against Oregon or Penn State, one of the two. If you're talking the Heisman, you are talking a Heisman Trophy here, but it's wild that we're talking about this, and it's also wild that I think it's on the table because if he can get 3 touchdowns this week against Iowa. That's, put the Indiana State thing out the window. It's that's 7 touchdowns 5, 6, that's 8 touchdowns in his last 2 games against 2 legitimate Big Ten teams. That's really good.
Yes. He's fantastic. And he's everything I hoped he would be. I thought he was going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be this good.
Agreed.
Or I had to turn that $5 free bet into, $10 a real money bet.
Before we get to hot streaks and Keegan's slice of the pie, one other just fun bet story, and this is probably me getting a little over my skis, but I was talking with one of my buddy Robert, my neighbor, and we're talking. He was always giving us crap about the non-conference schedule and all that. And I'm like, dude, just because you haven't heard of a name doesn't mean the school's not good. Like, this is the argument we were having. I was like, just because Old Dominion is not a football name doesn't mean they're not a good program. Like, just because you've heard Boston College or you've heard Syracuse or you've heard of Clemson doesn't mean they're good. Rankings will tell the story, and then you look at the rankings, and I'm just like, I'm not saying they're going to be good all season, but like Old Dominion is ranked really high right now. Like, they're ranked better than a lot of schools that you'd be like, oh man, that's a tough game. You're playing a school that I've heard of. It's like, no, Old Dominion's really good. Anyway, I went and looked. Old Dominion's ranked like 8th in FPI right now. Like, it's nuts where Old Dominion is ranked. And I looked at it. For a while. And dude, gambling is fun, again, within moderation and, money you can afford to lose. But I went ahead and threw a $25 bet on Old Dominion to win the Sun Belt, which I'm like, the odds aren't that bad. It was like plus 650. And it's like, that's not bad. Like, what the hell? Let's have some fun.
I'm guessing Liberty was probably the favorite.
I think Liberty and JMU were both ahead of them.
Yeah. I mean, that's highly possible. That is the conference championship game winner. So that's not to win the conference. That's to win the conference championship game. So I'm not sure Scott knows what he bet on.
That's even better. That's fantastic. I love that I messed up my own bet.
Well, let's hope they at least make it to the Sun Belt Conference championship game.
So let's keep this one on ice. This is one that I will 1,000,000% cash out if we get to like 2-1. If they can, honestly, think about it. All they have to do is make the championship, because they make it. I'm probably cashing out some money.
Probably, yeah.
There you go. All you got is 1 or 2 teams. Anyway, thought you'd enjoy that.
I do. I enjoy mostly that you didn't know what your bet was on.
It's one of those, just looking at the odds. Those are fun future bets. Again, gambling is serious. People don't spend money you shouldn't do, but like, keep it fun. Keep it fun. Keep it light.
I will also say that I put a little extra on the last couple of weeks, and normally that's because I've done really well the last few weeks, and normally I would cash out and just kind of keep it in my reserves. But you know what? I'm having a little fun with IU and IU football this year that I don't normally get to have. So you know what? It's okay, because it's winnings. If we were losing, we wouldn't be doing this, people.
So speaking of winning.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
Last week, Hoosier Hot Streak, we had IU to cover the 4.5-point spread. I would say they did that. And then Notre Dame to win the game. They did that. Way to go, Notre Dame. Way to show up and win a game, like top 25 teams should. All right, so this week we have the Hoosier Hot Streak. It is right here. Go ahead and talk us through it, James.
Pretty easy one for you this week. We're going straight money lines, and we're going to go Indiana, Ohio State, and Northwestern. And you combine all those, it's 150 odds. However, if you have a DraftKings account, there is a 25% parlay boost that will work on this bet. And so that's what I took. So looking at plus 188 here, Indiana, Ohio State, Northwestern, all on the money lines. I like it. Two road favorites in there, but that's all right.
I like this too. We're getting back on it. This is good. We're in Hoosier Hot Streak territory.
Yeah, this is when it's good, when you can just do the money lines and still get good odds. And yeah, I like that.
I like that a lot. We'll be playing that. And then the other bet of the week, we have Keegan Slice of the Pie with AI Slop, misspelled the. Keegan won last week. The vote was for Indiana 4.5. Apologize, I couldn't get the voting up on Spotify. Spotify was being very weird loading stuff last week. So we'll get the poll up this week, assuming Spotify's fixed their stuff. But Keegan, he won his slice of the pie. Here we go. Hold on. You sent me the picture. I got to drag it to my desktop, and then we got to add it here in a second.
People are going to make my kid fat, by the way.
Hey, it's college. They work stuff off so quickly. Where is, let's go to desktop. Here we go. What did Keegan go with?
The exact
man, cheese sticks with bacon.
I think Mad Mushroom should be calling us up to sponsor this, because that seems to be the only thing he goes with. Apparently, the dining halls at Purdue are not the greatest, so he's pretty thankful that this is happening. So we need to win again for the boy.
I'm with you. Anybody out there listening, you want to sponsor Keegan Slice of the Pie? Let's go. It would be really funny if we had like Everbowl sponsor it, and then it's like, sorry, Keegan, like you need to start using that money to buy an Everbowl or something really healthy. And it's just like, damn it.
I don't even know what that is, but I know he wouldn't eat it.
So, yeah, I mean, we're not saying Mad Mushroom, but one of you guys, one of you pizza places, you put in some little bit of cash, come talk to us, and we can definitely get this sponsored, and we can get Keegan to I mean, he's got to get off the cheese sticks. They have pizza. He's got to go like try something different, man.
He knows what he likes. I can't argue with him because that's what I'd get too. So.
Fair enough. What is funny? So one last time, he won. Good job, Keegan. Way to go. So our bet of the week this week, we are looking at. Oh, sorry, last pizza thing. Just a funny pizza story. My youngest son loves Red Baron pizza, frozen pizza. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, but we'll be like, Dave, do you want to go out for pizza? He's like, yeah, I want to go to Red Baron. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
Red Baron is not a place. He's like, he's like, oh, can we get Red Baron? Like, we'll go to a pizza place, like we'll go out to a pizza place. Like, can I get Red Baron here? It's like, dude, no, it's like, it's not. And he's 9. He should know better. But
no, you remember that gross place, Papa Murphy's, where you'd go, like you'd buy the pizza and had to bake it yourself at home. And it would always be so big you couldn't fit it in your oven.
Yeah, we used to get those because they have a pumpkin pizza around October time. But yeah, one of my buddies, Danny, hates that place. He's like, dude, what like no, like there's frozen pizza and there's real pizza. Like why am I cutting the middleman? Like why am I doing all the work here?
And it wasn't any cheaper. Yeah, that place sucked. Anyways, this week's bet, the game is Oregon-Penn State, because that's the game of the week. Early poll results have Oregon leading the poll.
Are we just doing straight money lines on this? Just Oregon?
No, the 3.5 spread.
Okay, all right. No money line, just 3.5 spread.
Nope, just 3.5 spread either way. That's what we're going to do from now on this. We're just going to pick one game, and we're going to pick either side of the spread because I think that's how we want to do it.
What's the early lead?
It's going to make it a lot easier. And and so if you go to X at CrimsonCASH 260, that is me. I've got it pinned to my profile there. So go ahead and vote.
What's the vote count right now?
82% for Oregon.
Okay.
11 votes in, but I just posted it like an hour ago. So
okay. Well, we will also have it on, if you're watching this on Spotify, scroll down, there will be a poll and you can pick it up there. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just put it in the comments, pick what you want. And hopefully we're getting Keegan some pizza and let him know. We want to see something new. I'd like to see something besides just the cheese sticks with bacon. Like maybe throw some olives on there or something. Let's mix it up.
I can guarantee that won't happen.
All right, James. It's been good. This is fun. I'm looking forward to next week. We're going to see. I really hope we're kicking the ghosts out and we no longer have we can just get the Iowa thing off our back too. It's going to be nice.
I am not super concerned, but I've got a 20% level of concern.
Until we start winning these tough road games, like I got to see it multiple. I'm just going to see it for the rest of my life. I'm never going to be able to go into it.
The reason I'm so confident is because Rutgers played Iowa really tough last week. And I think we're light years better than them.
And I'm really interested to watch that Penn State Oregon game. That's going to be fascinating.
I think Penn State will be exposed as frauds.
There's a world Penn State's got some tough games because they also have to play at Ohio State and they also have to play at Iowa and they play us at home. I mean, there's a world between us, Oregon, and Ohio State. They go 0 for 3 and they are just out.
I could absolutely see that.
Yeah, same. I still think we're going to beat them, but we'll see how they look against Oregon.
Yeah, that's what I want to see first.
Yep. All right, James. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. As always, thank everybody for listening and voting. And Keegan, thank you for enjoying your pizza. And so for James, or not pizza, your cheese bread get a pizza, man. Get a pizza. Yeah, get a pizza. All right. For James, this is Scott for Crimson Cash signing off.
Post.
Thank you for listening to Crimson Cash, a proud podcast of the Back Home Network.
Queen. Yes, sir. You gotta love this town.